Hello everyone, I'm Gabor, CPO at Weave, and in this video I would like to show how to create an Edge application and deploy it to your Edge node. If you haven't seen the previous videos yet, I can highly recommend to watch them before going into this, because the first one is about how to get started on the Weave platform, and the second is how to register a node to the manager. However, if you want to get a general idea and the concept of how to create an Edge application, you're absolutely fine to watch it here. The other videos I will have linked in the description. So let's get right into it. So what we see here is our Edge application builder. It's basically an infinite canvas which allows to create you simple to complex data processing logics, which we'll do step by step now. On the very left, you will see our drawer of modules where you can filter for input, processing, and output modules. Basically, every Edge application consists out of minimum one input, one processing, and one output module. The input defines where the data is coming from and how you receive it. The processing defines what you want to do with the data, while the output defines where you want to send the data through. So let's start. What we want to create today is we have a sensor connected to a gateway, which is basically detecting if there is water or not. Basically a leakage detection. And this sensor is communicating via MQTT to this gateway. So what we need to do now is basically to first receive the data, then detect the value change of the sensor, and then to send it out to our Slack channel where we want to send the alert to. So the first thing you want to do is to go through the input drawer and select the right communication which you want to use. In this case, as I said, it's communicating you MQTT. So you can drag it in, put it on the canvas, click on it, and now you can change the parameters here. So I know the broker address by heart. You of course need to figure out what is your broker address you want to subscribe to, and you need to add the topic you need to subscribe. So this is basically the configuration. Okay, I know this is the broker I need to ask, and this is the topic I need to subscribe to, so that I get the right data points in. You need to set apply, and now every changes have been saved. The next step would be to make sure that the incoming data is stable, and therefore we have a fluctuation filter here in the processing side. So just drag it in, connect it with the input, and then configure the next step. So the fluctuation filter is basically providing you stable data and make sure that it filters out certain spikes, and we make sure in our case, for example, that only data is sent through if it's minimum 3 steps the same value. So this case we can say is sensor data, the input label. And we already said window size 3, that's fine, and should send on change to set to true. It's very important that you remember the input label for every following module, because this is basically defining which data you are requesting and getting. So we set apply, and the next step would be to add the comparison filter to make sure that we basically only change at a certain value, only filter for a certain value. So basically, if we again put in sensor data, we get the data from the fluctuation filter, and we want to only get the data or filter the data out if it equals to 1, because 0 means there is no water and 1 means there is water, and we only want to filter to 1. That's pretty much it. We apply, and the last step is, since we now already processed the data, we send it out to our Slack alert module. I already pre-configured a little bit the module, but let's come to that in a minute. So let's put in again the sensor data. Again, very important, if you put the right input label, we will get the input value, which is a number. It's an alarm. And below that, you can configure the message and add your custom Slack webhook API URL. And this is what I already pre-configured to not do a lot of copy and pasting in this video. So basically, you can configure the alert message. You can use it as described below, and you can find out your Slack webhook URL. Therefore, you need to be Slack administrator, but you can, of course, also for a trial, you can just spin up your own Slack space and test it out. That's pretty much it. If you want to send it somewhere else, you can, of course, use any other module in our drawer to test it. So now we set apply, every changes are applied, and our Edge application is done. So let's recap. MQTT ingress to define where the data is coming from and how to receive it. Fluctuations to stabilize the data input. Comparison filter to filter out what we're looking for. And the Slack alert basically to define the data output and data endpoint where you want to send it to. the next thing you would need to do, because you cannot just deploy it right away, because first you would need to name this application. So we can say detect water, basically. We can say it version 1 and set apply, and the next step would be to save it. Now we saved it, and now we can select the nodes for deployment in the next side. So in the last video, we added the my first node, which was a simple Raspberry Pi. In the meantime, I also added another node, which is a Rav Pi. It's coming from Kunbus, and it's basically sitting here on the desk. It's Kunbus Rav Pi Core 3, which is running our weave agent on it. We onboarded the same way as we did with the Raspberry Pi. We can just select it and hit deploy. Now what happens is basically we send out this Edge application, and the agent takes care to spin it up and to basically run it. One thing I forgot to mention is if you create an Edge application and just save it without deploying it, you're always free to return to this Edge application and edit it, update it, and adjust it. As soon as you deploy an Edge application, we need to freeze the state of this Edge application, and you're not able to edit it anymore. However, there's the option to duplicate an Edge application and to adjust and edit the copy. This is what you can do. So don't worry, nothing is lost. You can deploy it, it will be frozen, not editable, but you can always create a duplicate and change the settings there. So now it's deployed, and now we see the status is running. And I will take you now to the installation of this little kit and show you how it is working, and will demonstrate you that we receive a message into our dedicated Slack channel. So what you see right here, right now, is this Kunbus gateway, this little orange thing here. This is connected to the internet and to the power. And basically, what you see here is the little sensor I was referring to, which is connected to this little gateway, and this gateway is receiving the data basically over MQTT. We have a little cup of water here for testing purposes, and we have the Slack channel open right here. You see, this is the last message we received at 5:33. And now let's dip in the sensor. Now we see that it changed because the light changed here from green to yellow. And basically what happens now, if we wait a little second, we received a message that a leakage was detected. And this is how simple it is to create a custom Edge application. And as you saw, it's really easy to customize and to decide where you want to send data to and how you want to get the data in. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope that gave you a little overview about how to create an Edge application. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop it below this video. You can also sign up to our Discord channel, which I will add the link to as well in the description. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what you guys can build with our platform, and I hope to see you around.